Snack time, anyone? Sure. Let's try the redwoods for a change. They look delicious.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about Deluxe G1 Insecticons, with Hasbro announcing that they're going to complete the team, and they're going to do all of them. We already got the Ransack, and the other three are on the way. There's a renewed interest in these. I'm gonna be honest, a renewed interest in me, and I had to dig all mine out and match up the weapons and accessories and stuff and get ready for a review and take a look at these. So we're going to look at each one of these and we're going to compare them to the original G1 Insecticons, simply because we can, on this wonderful Retro Wednesday coming up. Alright, let's start with Ransack, who they say is supposed to be a locust. Kind of feels like a young grasshopper. But I have to say this is my favorite because I had them as a kid. And I've had them, I've kind of picked this up as an adult in the early aughts and collections lots and stuff like that for next to nothing. But I want to say that it's interesting how they kind of incorporate these bug legs. So several of these have an incorporating the bug leg in the transformation. I'm not going to transform these because they are so brittle. All of them. They're all so brittle and so fragile and so prone to breaking that it's just ridiculous. In fact, I put all the best parts on one, and I have one that has, like, every one of mine has one broken part somewhere. It's just, it sucks, but it is the way it is. Anyway, he does come with this yellow shield, but and this gun, but you can't move the arms forward to point it, so you just kind of have to do that. You can't, it's goofy. I wish they would have had articulation in the shoulders. As a kid, I wish they would have had articulation in the shoulders, but the legs have good articulation because you can actually get some level of posing with the legs. A little bit of posing with the legs, but you can't do anything with the shoulders. The abdomen likes to pop out. So, I mean, overall, I hear a lot of people say negative things about the Barrage figure. Not Barrage, Ransack figure. But he's my favorite because I had him as a kid. As the Grasshopper, he has these legs that are just kind of stuck to the arms. You just rotate them around. And then he's got these rear legs that have some articulation to them. But it does look a lot like a Locust or Grasshopper. These wings are clear. And this is probably the clear plastic wings are one of the coolest part of this figure. And it would have been nice if they were ball jointed. I think they're ball jointed on the new ones, I believe. But let's compare this to what Hasbro seems to think is the mold for this. And they used their Kickback. Now, Kickback is a different figure. And looking at Kickback and this, there's some similarities, so I understand why they use it, why they went the route that they did to give us a Ransack in the modern era, but still pretty cool. Look how much bigger he is than the original. So these deluxe ones aren't just deluxe in price or deluxe in, would you say deluxe? Not in articulation, but deluxe, they're bigger. And of course they're probably another subline from Japan that they brought over, or these might just be all creations straight from Hasbro, but still, this is a much bigger figure. So would I want deluxe ones in Masterpiece or something to be much larger? No. I kind of like how Hasbro's doing it, where they all scale together really well. But anyway, this is Ransack. Let's get into Chop Shop. Alright, Chop Shop. This is another one that I've had for a long time. He is a stag beetle, and he has the same problems as the Ransack with the shoulders. They do not go forward, just out, and that's it. He does come with this sword looking thing, and he comes with a gun. There's his gun. And his legs, his lower legs. Now, I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong here, but his lower legs just kind of hang out. Just the bug parts just kind of hang out. And it's funny, too, in transformation, these are hard to get into place. And no, I'm not transforming these because I actually have broken one in the transformation process. Not that they're hard to transform, it's just they're so ridiculously fragile and brittle, and I don't know why. I do not know why these are some of the most brittle and fragile G1 Transformers that are out there. I do like how they've got all the legs have such a high level of articulation. Again, you can break them. So the bug legs are easy to break. Mine are kind of loose on the back. And these aren't the best representations of these figures because I did not go after them. It's not like I went and tried to find them. These literally just been in my collection, got them in lots, and I was like, well, I guess I'll piece them together and, you know, get the best looking one. Something's broken on at least one of these. And with that, you can kind of open this up just a little bit with the little mandibles. It's a little bit of articulation. I don't know if it's intended or if it's just byproduct of the transformation. But yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. The color scheme is a little bit weird and boring, but you don't see any other colors, any other figures with this color scheme. So I guess it's very unique. But anyway, this is Chop Shop. Let's go ahead and get into Barrage, which does some other interesting stuff with the legs. Here we go with Barrage, and he is a rhino beetle. Is that what you call it? He's a little green and yellow guy. Looks kind of cool, kind of interesting. Another one that I've had for a long time, and it's funny too because I didn't appreciate the fact that I had these. This is one of the ones that I thought was just like, I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. I didn't think it was that great of a figure. And with that, I had to kind of track down this sword. Now, try to track that sword down. It's not the funnest thing in the world. These silly accessories start to get expensive. There's this gun. But he is a pretty interesting looking figure once you've got him transformed. And I never really messed with transforming them. Here's the other thing. I've kept all these in their alt mode all these years. So when I get to transforming them, I thought, well, what's going on with the legs here? And the bug legs tuck into the feet. And that was really interesting. I had never in 20 years transformed this guy into bot mode until recently when I started getting ready for this video. And I thought that was such interesting engineering from all these years past. And yeah, it's kind of cool how that worked out. That's just so interesting that all these bug legs, for the most part, tuck into there. And yeah, it cleans up really nice. And you're talking about some old school tech. Now his arms actually do have articulation. So you can actually do something with the shoulders and pose him. So as for me sitting here thinking that this is the lamest of these, he actually is a pretty good figure as a figure goes. And his legs, although his legs go forward and back a little bit, no out side to side and all that. But you can do some stuff with him, which for a G1 figure, it's good that you could actually do something with him. It's a brick with some moving arms, but he does look pretty cool overall. I do like him. And as for the bug, this part here is almost always broken from what I'm seeing online. And I'm so glad that mine are not broken in this regard. But it looks pretty good. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. These legs, I don't think they're all the same. They might actually all be the exact same legs, just positioned different. I'm not sure. But pretty cool, pretty interesting figure. That is Barrage. Lastly, we're going to get into Venom. Venom is by far the coolest looking one of these. By far. He looks so cool. And he's one of the ones I did not get in a lot. I actually had to pay up for them. And the thing is that his transformation is okay. And both modes are okay. And he just looks really, I don't know, bad as can be, you know? And then he has shoulder articulation. He has a little bit of head up and down because of the transformation. And you can feel some die cast right here, which is nice. I'm not sure why. This is the hardest one to get out of all of them, which obviously I didn't even get a parts one in one of my part slots out of like 35 part slots I bought in the early 2000s. I never came across this guy. In fact, I didn't even know he was a thing until I started looking into getting all four and making sure I had all of them. So I don't know if he wasn't released in the US or a story, but it's just interesting. He's got more articulation. He's more sophisticated. Like he's got, not only do his legs move like this, but he has thigh articulation and some knee articulation. So he's got quite a bit going on for him, and that's quite interesting. Part of that has to do with transformation, but having all of this articulation that's far above pretty much anything else in this line, and he looks really cool. So he is a pricier one, probably the most expensive, especially complete. And yeah, now that I'm messing around with all of his articulation, now he's not going to be as stable. Let me get him stable again. But he does come with these two weapons accessories. This is sort of like I don't know, it's like a handheld, rounded off slicing blade. he's either gonna slice or he's about to make some roast beef sandwiches. He's going to his job at Arby's. That's his second job. He's a during the day he's a bad guy. He's a Decepticon. In the evening he goes and works at Arby's and slices roast beef. This is his green gun, which looks pretty cool. But yeah, he can actually hold them and he can actually be displayed with them and look pretty cool doing it. So I don't want to say this is my favorite one. I still kind of like Ransack because I had him as a kid. But this is like one of those things that he's the coolest looking. Now getting into his Mosquito mode. Now I think that we can articulate these, but I see these broken all the time. So the last thing I'd want to do is break them to just try to display them. So you'd want to move them and right there. There we go. If you want to get them up. But let's be safe and push them down. You want to move them at this joint and do not move the wing because that would break the wing. And get that on there. Looks pretty cool. Here's his head. Kind of peekaboo. That looks good. And he's got 6 legs. And these are exactly the same. It appears to me to be exactly the same. No, they're not exactly the same. There's like left and right or top and bottom. So if you're trying to swap these out, which I don't know if you can swap them out. I didn't have to mess with all that with these, thank goodness. But if you had to swap them out, you need to get the right one in the right place, I guess. Still pretty cool overall. What an interesting design, and the color scheme looks cool. The tampograph paint on the chest, which carries over to right here. Really interesting figure overall, but one of the hardest to get. That's why he's named Venom. Alright, this is my look at the Deluxe Insecticons from the G1 original OG era, and I've got to say that it is fun to have these figures in a collection. They look really interesting, especially along the, I don't want to say monochromatic, but it feels like monochromatic originals. The originals are classic. They always hold a place in my heart, but the Deluxe ones are something different, like a next level, a next step, and happy that Hasbro is actually coming out there to make these, and that is really cool. Really hope X-Transbots does jump on the bandwagon and start making theirs, and some Masterpiece company makes them because they're really awesome. And I can't really say how much more fun I had getting these out and trying to get all the weapons and accessories pieced together with them. But let me know what you think about the Deluxe Insecticons. Is this something you're planning on picking up? The original OG G1s? Are you planning on picking up the Hasbro ones that they're making? Or are they something that you're just going to completely pass on, you don't want to have anything to do with? You're just happy with your original 3? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. And hopefully this helped shine a little bit of light on these figures. Tiberium Hanger out.
Hey, what's that noise? Don't scram your ram, Kickback. It's just Bombshell's stomach rumbling. Yeah, that's the problem with pines. You eat a forest of them, and an hour later you're out of energy again. Hey, seeing this?
It must be a figment of my imagination.
We did it!